And so now I get the pleasure of introducing somebody who has actually seen a couple of different newsrooms over time. Our friend here, Dave McConnell, has been covering Capitol Hill for WTOP since 1978. Dave's been with the station since 1965. Actually, he was 2 at the time. Started off as an intern, very young man. It's amazing how the child labor laws have changed. But Dave has done an excellent job for us covering the Hill. And we thought it only appropriate with Dave, with his long-standing tenure here, that he would introduce our special guest today. We're very fortunate to have Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton here with us today to officially cut the ribbon on the new Glass and Post News Center. And I introduce to you Dave McConnell.
You realize it's always like this in the newsroom, all these goodies. It's nothing different here, just a normal day. But a lot of memories flood in, I got to tell you that. Anyway, good morning, Jim, Joel, Mike, guests, honored guests, and of course my dear WTOP colleagues. You know, as we view our new magnificent brand new facility, I think of that very first morning back at Broadcast House, the old Broadcast House, back in 1969, where the fumes of last night's delicacies of the dancing crab wafted in the early a.m. It was early. The big bosses then, Larry Israel and Jim Snyder, were hovering in the control room. I actually made the sign-on and was part of the first newscast of the announcement of a new and unusual, maybe even untested, you got to remember those days, an untested kind of format. I was joined then by John Linker, Ivan Scott, Gary Nunn, Charlie McCord, and Gordon Peterson that very first morning. Wonder what ever happened to Charlie and Gordon. I guess they did okay. The first news hour of many to come, from the drama of Nixon's Watergate to the unexpected suspense of this year's presidential primaries. We've seen it all, and other moments too. Like the time legendary engineer J.J. McNally accidentally played the Doomsday tape. You know, the one that says, "This is not a test, this is the real test." Legendary anchor Amy Bragg, who was on duty, said, "The phones didn't even ring." Go figure. So, in several newsrooms now, we have stayed on this format from the days of Granny Clink and reel-to-reel tapes, alligator clips on telephones for field work, typewriters to put it all together. I'm sure that my friends Jim Bohannon and Frank Herzog will remember those days. We now find ourselves in this digitalized, computerized colossus, courtesy of Dave Garner, Art Rose, and Brian Oliger. Many thought that WTOP News' all-news format would be just yet another passing phase. And yet it's outlasted everything we've ever done. But high tech or low, it's the reporters, anchors, editors, writers, and techs that have kept this place going. And leadership's made the difference, from Jim Snyder at the start to Jim Farley right now. We've been well led. And God willing, this newsroom and those in it will continue to put out the news quickly, accurately, and unbiased, so the WTOP will continue to be the station people depend on. Thank you very much. And now, it's my pleasure to introduce one who has been a frequent source of news for WTOP, and of course a frequent guest on our politics program, someone I've known as a newsmaker and a good friend for many, many years. Yes, we reporters do have good friends in Congress, it's really true. She's one who's represented Washington's voters in the House of Representatives since 1991, fighting the good fight for a voice in Congress for D.C. It's my pleasure to introduce Congresswoman, Congressional Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton.
Thank you very much, David. It's a delight to be introduced by the incredible Dave McConnell, who manages to pack more substance and more news in 1 minute of commentary than most people do in 5 minutes. Is an amazing man. It's all in understandable English. I don't think you can replicate Dave. And thank you, Dave, for your introduction of me. Now, I have to tell you that I am amazed by WTOP. I'm a native Washingtonian, a third generation Washingtonian, and it was not talk radio. It did not have any of this when I was a kid growing up. It was entirely different, very successful format, but what tells you that radio matters, but particularly WTOP radio matters, is the way in which this station has thrived throughout my most of my lifetime. So when you invite me to cut a ribbon on this newsroom, I can only think of what it was like when I was going to Bruce Monroe Elementary School, when it wasn't this kind of format at all. The format means a great deal to many of us who go first to WTOP to find out what's happening. But it also, I must tell you, this occasion is also very strange to me. You have to understand that members of Congress, public officials, politicians get invited to many groundbreakings, ribbon cuttings, and you know, we are delighted. It's almost my most favorite thing to do, is to cut a ribbon. Now, I have to tell you, most of the time it had something to do with it. You can trace it back in some form or fashion to some bill that I had at least a hand in. But I have to tell you, this is all WTOP. And as much as I would like to claim some credit for it, I've got to give credit to where credit is due, and to give congratulations to where congratulations are due. You continue to not only exist, you continue to be the station that many of us, particularly those of us interested in serious substance, look to, and yet you're still here. I just talked to someone who said, Congresswoman, I just saw you again on the Colbert Report. Well, the fact is, if you are competing with the likes of entertainment news, you have done it magnificently, and that's why you could launch this new venture and enlarge your newsroom. Congratulations, may you continue to grow.
And before I raise the toast, I just want to do a special thank you to the newsroom and to Jim Farley and Mike McClarty and all the news managers, because what you see here is what they're going to move into. Over the past year or so, they have been crammed into some really tight space with less than perfect air conditioning and heating, and have done an amazing job still putting out an incredible product under quite a bit of duress with no complaints. So cheers to them, cheers to the newsroom. Thank you once again, Congresswoman. Cheers. WTOP. Once again, thank you all for coming. Please eat the food. Let's go. Here we go.
Gotta cut the ribbon.
All right. Other than that,
We gotta cut the ribbon.
Let's see what the point for you was.
I know. I want to champagne. I thought you.
Cut that ribbon. That's right.
Are you ready? On the count of three.
3, 2, 1.